You want to know why witch hunts existed? Because the mother back then didn't understand how to make bread. The bread got moldy and it created this bread that was like LSD. So they was seeing shit. So they thought mother was witches and was burning people. It ain't had nothing to do with women rebelling, you fucking idiot.
Welcome back to the channel. Angry man got into it with Jazz because Jazz doesn't understand what a patriarchy is and the origins of it, and it got heated. Jazz put a comment under one of the panelists' pages saying, she was like, stop using me for content. It was funny because every week she has something more delusional than the next week to say, but she does not want to go viral. But she always will go viral because she always has a lot of delusional things to say. Hit the subscribe button, notification bell. Let's not waste 1 minute.
Our own rights. It was by law that women, we couldn't go and get our own doctor's appointments without the permission of men. We couldn't sign our own documents. We couldn't get bank accounts. We couldn't do anything. So yeah, men established that initially for women to rely on y'all, and now it seems y'all are
fair. That's not true. One second, nigga, man. Let me just say this and you got it. That's fair. So if that's the case, the patriarchy wanted y'all virgins. The patriarchy wanted y'all back in the kitchen cooking. Well, the patriarchy wanted y'all to have one man all your life, to have 7 kids by that man, to shut the fuck up when I tell you to shut the fuck up, and to do those things. Why are women, every time there's something that is advantageous to women, they blame the patriarchy because they only do it because the patriarchy told them to do. No, I was talking. But now that the patriarchy wants you to close your legs and be a virgin before you get married, the patriarchy wants you to be a cooker and a cleaner and to shut the fuck up and be submissive and do all these things. Why don't you say, Jess, the patriarchy is making me be submissive, so I'm going to be submissive to my man? Why do you take all the good things and the privilege that come with the patriarchy, but when it comes to responsibilities, now you want to play modern woman? Are you? No, 1 second. Are you? I have a question. Does if the patriarchy makes you, or if the patriarchy influence you to actually have these benefits, why doesn't the matriarchy influence women to close their legs, to cook, to clean, to not dress like sluts, to actually shut the fuck up? Like, why is the patriarchy so effective for one side?
Here's the problem with the patriarchy. The thing about it is, when it was established, you were forcing women. You didn't give women the choice to choose if they wanted to be under your rule, under your leadership. So that was the problem. Can I finish, sir?
I'll give you the microphone next.
I was speaking. Thank you.
It's not true.
I understand, but if you could just hold tight, just hold on tight, because I'm.
Go ahead, just finish your point.
Thank you. So as I was saying, that whole situation, as it pertained to men and women, we were forced to be under your rule until we had to fight to get from under it. So you're saying that you had all these benefits because you dated men that took care of you, but it wasn't by our choice. So patriarchy can be fine if you're not taking away someone's autonomy to choose if they want to live under your rule. That's the issue with the patriarchal system, is that y'all like, well, if we're doing this, why aren't y'all virgins? Why aren't y'all submissive? Some women are. Some women do want to be submissive, but you are trying to remove the choice and say you need to do this because I'm a man. That's where it gets all fucked up. Y'all are taking the choice away from women and then switching it and saying that's your way of protecting.
Shut up, Ashley!
We're living in a wild world where a system set up to make women have to do less, and a system that more secures their protection than any other system. Modern day women have found a way to look at it as an oppressive thing. And that was the borderline demonic layer of feminism and what it did to women. Seriously, is it tricked women into thinking that something that was originally set up to help them was actually set up to harm them and to hold them back and oppress them. But there are plenty of women from yesteryears who will say, I didn't feel oppressed under the care of my husband. I don't know what these women are talking about. Ungrateful wenches.
It's the women. It ain't the men no more. The women going bad.
You are admitting, so
you can't protect me and then say, you can't protect me and then say you don't give a fuck about my autonomy.
She's like, you can't say you care about me while setting up a world where I'm completely reliant on you. Does that even make sense? Because think about it. The patriarchy is set up to where men are fully responsible for the women in the community. their safety, their well-being, their financial well-being, all of it, their political well-being, whatever. And even though some men could manipulate the situation, some men could abuse the situation, generally speaking, it was started from a moral place. And it was started under the understanding that men are strong creatures and women are creatures that are not as strong, not completely void of strength, but not as strong. Let's get back into it.
You are admitting that the patriarchy doesn't make you do shit, right? Y'all are not. I just want to make sure that you're saying what you're saying. Like, you literally accuse the patriarchy of creating this system where a woman are taking
did men not establish that all women needed to do was be beautiful? They didn't need money. They didn't need an education. Did y'all not set that standard?
Hey, one second. Let me use the same logic that you use, right? Are we making hey, Jazz, 2025 is the patriarchy make woman use men for foodie dates, make woman go outside and make sure they take advantage of men, use them as a wallet, use them as a dildos with legs and arms. Like, is the patriarchy making? One second, let me finish. Is the patriarchy making woman cooking the worst in history?
It has nothing to do with patriarchy.
Hey, Jess, I made the commitment to myself. I won't interrupt y'all. Y'all need to let me motherfucking finish. Okay? Is the matriarchy making women be the worst cooks ever, the laziest woman on the planet? Is the matriarchy make sure that you come to a marriage, deny sex to your husband every time you don't get your way, the challenge is authority left and right? Like, is the matriarchy make you do that shit?
All in all, what he's saying is a patriarchy isn't responsible for all these new horrible, awful behaviors we see in modern women that are moving y'all from being married. Because men have been raising their complaints since Kevin Samuels went viral about how women aren't doing what they're supposed to do and bringing the right amount of value to relationships. All I'm hearing is you guys are misogynists. All I'm hearing is, oh, you guys just want a patriarchy and all this other crap. But what this conversation is proving is a lot of women don't even understand what a patriarchy is, and they're just using it to distract us from the fact that they don't behave the way that the traditional women used to behave, and they're not nearly as valuable as the traditional women used to be. They can't cook. They're not hitting on shit.
You suck.
Is the patriarchy that is making you do that?
Is the patriarchy making women bad cooks? Is that
yes?
Is it making? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how it correlates. I don't know. Ask somebody else.
The point was this: if the patriarchy has all this power to make women do some bullshit, the patriarchy should have power to make you do what men want you to do.
Exactly.
And what is happening is that y'all are traditional women. Every time you can take advantage of it, meaning being chivalrous, being having a leader, having a provider, having a man that can die for you, that take his jacket out of your back when it's cold, that do all these things. But when it comes to you being a traditional woman, we are not under the patriarchy. I'm a modern woman. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
What I'm saying is this: you still have women who want to live under a man's rule. Go find them. Every woman out here.
All women live under a man's.
These bras actually think that they're free.
All women live under a man's.
They think
all
that
these trial wives out here. Y'all can't find one.
You would think these women live in an infrastructure they built, talking like how this chick is talking. Let's get back into it.
All women live under a man's rule, and you're delusional if you think you don't. Right. Number one, the patriarchy was not set up to spite women. The reason why the patriarchy exists is because throughout history, you have been the weaker of the two sexes. And up until recently, you definitely needed men for everything. You would not have survived. So the only reason the patriarchy or the rule of men even exists in the first place is because...
I think Jazz is shaking her head as if she doesn't agree with that point, that you wouldn't have been able to survive without men. I could tell that you're a woman who hasn't even thought about that simple fact that without men, the infrastructure of the society that you're living in wouldn't be as safe. For example, if in the city that you live in, Jazz, would you want all of your police officers replaced with the best female police officers from all over the world? Or would you feel a little bit more secure with a few men being sprinkled in there? Same with your fire department, things that require a lot of heavy lifting and very important jobs, life-saving jobs even, right? Have you pictured a society without men there to do these things before you try to act as if there's a world where women can exist without men?
You were in a situation where if you did not have men to hunt the animals, men to fend off other tribes, to fend off wild animals, all of those different things, you wouldn't have survived all the way up until recently, all the way up until recent history.
Can you cite your sources on where you have the facts to show
it's
that?
Called history.
Okay,
it's called
can you
history.
please cite the historical facts that without being under a man's rule that women would somehow do it?
And when he says that it's history, all he has to do is say that where in history have you seen thriving societies of just women? There aren't a lot of them. There aren't any of them, matter of fact. There aren't any times in history where women found a way to thrive without men because of the very principles that Angry Man is bringing up, that you guys are in a lesser and a weaker position in nature. So we're responsible for you. The patriarchy is a legitimization of that responsibility.
A second ago, if I remember correctly, a second ago, you asked me not to interrupt you.
I just asked you to cite your source, but you can continue.
You asked me to not interrupt you, right?
You're right. But
okay,
make sure you
so
cite that
number one, what I'm citing is history.
You don't have to cite the history when all you have to do is state the fact that there has never been a successful all-woman thriving society. But men create thriving societies in their sleep. These facts disprove your argument. So,
history.
Our history, human history.
Okay, but can you give me a specific historical site of where you're saying that the only reason patriarchy came is because women were so unable to take care of ourselves that we needed men to rule us?
Patriarchy? What is patriarchy?
Okay, well, patriarchy is generally understood as a social system in which men hold primary power.
Okay, stop right there.
Roles, and dominant roles.
Stop right there. Stop right there.
Let me finish.
No, we're not going to play. No, we're not playing feminism today.
I'm asking you what the basic.
No. We're not doing that. I'm asking you what the basic of patriarchy is. You said the rule of men. You said the rule. I'm giving it to you. Look it up, babe. Look it up. You said the rule of men. So let's stop right there for a second.
I didn't say that. If you will let me. I didn't say anything about rules. You're not listening. I never said anything about rules.
How did men come into the position of being the rulers?
Okay, so like I said, it's understood as a social system in which men hold primary power.
This is why y'all don't run shit. This is why y'all don't run shit.
Leadership.
This is why you don't run shit. This is why you don't run shit.
Let me clarify. Hey, Jazz, let me clarify it, friends. What Angry Man is asking you is that
you're more concerned.
I'm giving you the definition.
You're more concerned with I'm a woman and I'm not gonna let a man stop me from talking. You're more concerned with that than the actual conversation. What I'm saying to you, what I'm saying to you,
literally means.
What I'm saying to you,
one second.
What I'm saying to you,
Angry Man, 1 second, bro. Hey, 1 second, friends.
Weird.
This is a ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Yes. Hey, Angry Man, 1 second.
You're asking me to give you a definition.
This is ridiculous.
Daddy can never keep control of these panels.
How did men got that power? How did they get it?
Well, because I believe they got that power because they were the brawnier species, so they felt that women wouldn't be able to defend themselves if they were to control them.
It's not felt. There's
because if that's the case, why not rule over other men? If that's not the case, why not rule over
men? Do rule over other men. See, this is what I mean by
in the same way that you rule over. If that was the case,
men do rule over other men. What are you talking about?
Okay, but what I'm saying is Okay, but men were able to have access and autonomy and were able to vote and have rights.
Not all of them.
Way before women did.
No, you don't
Way
know
before
what you're
women
talking.
did, though,
No,
right?
stop. No. First of all, you don't know. See, this is what's funny about this. You're asking me to cite my sources. You don't even know history.
Yeah.
All men were not able to vote. Back in the day, only men that were landowners were able to vote. And all throughout history, there are so many instances where men, if they were not up to par as men, they didn't have the same rights as other men.
Right.
This is where you get eunuchs and certain shit like that.
Okay, let me look that up real quick, because
you're
that's
bugging right now.
Instead of formulating an intellectual opinion, she's like, well, I need to see sources. I need to see this. I need to see that. So instead of me just combating your argument from an intellectual standpoint, I'll just reach for the discredit of what you have to say. I'll just aim for discrediting what you have to say and finding information that goes against your arguments because I don't have an intellectual opinion to combat it myself. Let's get back into it.
Save you time, Jazz. I save you time. Men only got the right to vote on the 19th century. Most men wouldn't able to vote. Most like one second, please. Just like woman in mass couldn't vote, but men, there was a very short, like very small amount of men that actually were able to vote, and those men led over the peasants, the feudal lord, the man of power. So like everybody, one second, let me just correct. Like everybody was under patriarchy. Everyone was under patriarchy.
This is why
what I'm saying was it was about humanity. Well, give me a second. Let me respond to Fatty. Thank you. If it's about humanity and justice for everybody, when all men were able to vote.
Wait. No, I didn't say that. No. You said no. Stop. You said you're replying to me. I didn't say that.
No. What I'm saying
is no. 1 second. It's not about fairness. It's not about humanity. It's about the survival of the fittest. The church and the government and the kings and the bishops and the feudal lords and the men that had land, they had all the power, and all the other men were the bottom of the mother. There was scum of the earth, and they had no power.
The women were not treated as equal. That's the problem with the
men. Were not.
Right.
They were not treated as equal human beings.
Men were not treated as equal human beings. You're not listening, Jazz.
You shouldn't be able to have access to things just because you're a man, and I shouldn't because I'm a woman.
I just want to clear these out. Jess,
that's
please.
Weird.
Jess.
Yo, you don't know what you're talking about because your whole fucking head is filled with a bunch of feminist bullshit.
No,
you
don't
even understand the history of the damn world.
Definition of patriarchy.
Yo, chill out. Let's have one mic, please.
Every single
what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a clock for
every single time.
I don't want to do
it. One second. I know it's just.
I don't want to talking about.
There's no reason. There's no reason for, once again, now respectfully, for we to be over talking each other. I'm going to put the clock so people can respect each other's time, and everybody has 1 minute. Is that fair with everybody? Is that okay? So we can actually have a conversation. Okay, I'm going to put the clock. Don't overtalk the other person. Jess, you can say what you want and interrupt it. Angry Man is going to go afterward and interrupt it. So go ahead and say what you have to say, Jess, please.
This whole time, and she's been spewing nothing.
It's fine. If she's committing a mistake, let her do it, and then you go next. Go ahead, Jess.
Yeah, no, I don't understand what we're doing right now. All I'm saying is this: when it comes to what patriarchy is, right, and what it was, the actual definition is rooted in male leadership, moral authority, control of property, and when it comes to like, is it rooted in control of women? There are scholars that believe that patriarchy has historically been rooted in controlling women's autonomy in areas like reproduction, in marriage, in labor. So that's why I was saying, like, y'all are saying that it was there to protect us and guide us, but look at how much it suppressed women just because they were women. So that's all I'm saying. There are women out here that want to be traditional. There are women out here that want to adhere to this rule of submission, but give them the choice to do so. And all I was saying, when this whole indoctrination, and you're right, Angry Man, patriarchy it can harm men as well, because there's a sense of superiority over somebody else, and we're all equal as human beings.
We're all not equal as human beings. The issue is we would like to believe that, especially feminist, butchy women, you always think that we're all equal. We're not all equal. If we're equal, then when danger happens, you deal with the mugger then, because it's equal. Flat tire in the winter, I'm gonna stay in the warm car. You go deal with it, because we're equal. There's some sort of skirmish in the middle of the night. Somebody breaks in and you guys can tell that somebody's in the house. One person has to stay upstairs and call the police. Somebody's got to go check it out. Now you're going to go do it, bitch, because equality. I'm staying up here with the dog. If you women aren't ready to step up, watch your mouth.
Designed to protect everybody, when you deliberately designed it for so long to keep women outside of the same access to the things that you have just because they were women. So it's like, does it protect or does it oppress? It can be both depending on the perspective, because a patriarchal system often the frame control as protection, but the protection is conditional and reinforces like dependency and limiting a woman's freedom and critical
yes, we need to respect the
truth is protection and dependency go hand in hand. If I'm responsible for protecting you and keeping you alive, then you're dependent on me. See, you want the protection, but you also want to be viewed as something that's standing strong on your own 10 toes, but you're not.
My bad. So yeah, that's all I'm saying. Just consider how I get what you're saying, but it can be harmful to women overall.
Angry Man as the mic 1 minute and a half uninterrupted.
Yo, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. You're just like every other modern woman that has allowed feminism to fill your head with a bunch of bullshit and nonsense. Number one, the only reason you even have feminism is because the patriarchy gave it to you. Every single right that you have right now was granted to you by men. It wasn't something that you fought for and gained. So get that out of your head. When it comes to the concept of men, men have not been equal. Back in the day, there were men that were slaves. And I'm not even talking about America. I'm talking about before America. There were men that were lords. There were men that were nobles. There has always been a hierarchy. So it wasn't just women that didn't have certain rights. There was men that didn't have certain rights. The entire reason the concept of patriarchy exists is because there's always been a need for certain men to lead because they were stronger men. There's always been a need for men to structure our society, to structure our community. It wasn't until recently that women started saying, oh, we don't have any rights, when really what you were describing was privilege. What you were describing was, if we're on a boat and it's sinking, women and children first.
Come on.
It was a bunch of white women that said, oh, we don't have any rights. We can't do this. We can't do that, which is ridiculous, because now you have women complaining about the fact that you have to go to work, complaining about the fact that you have to be independent. So no, patriarchy is not something that you're going to sit here and vilify just because it's something that men created. The whole reason that patriarchy exists is because there has always been weaker people, not just women, but men also, who needed to be protected, who needed structure, who needed a freaking civilization and society to live in. Otherwise, you have anarchy. And if you want to sit here and think that men don't protect women and the patriarchy doesn't protect women, if you didn't have a patriarchy, you would be in a world of shit. You wouldn't be able to walk down the street without having to worry about a man jumping on you and sexually assaulting you. So no, we're not going to do that goofy shit.
I mean, honestly, everything you said.
I was just checking to make sure y'all enjoying this barbecue.
You have a chance. Jazz.
Go ahead.
You have a minute, and remain as another minute, and we go back to the show, okay? 1 minute. In any regard, he will Men take from no, Jess, please. Men take from other men. Think about it. Men subjugate other men, not just women. Other men, kids, animals. The human being literally sees a bunch of rhinos, elephants, whatever, and says, you know what? I want that area. I don't give a fuck about what is that. If I want it, I will get it.
It was very African of you to say that a rhino is being stolen, Fatty. If somebody wants to steal my rhino.
And it's made by men. You actually pointed to men. Y'all did that. What makes because you Jess, please, Jess, let me just finish, Jess. What makes you think, Jess? And please answer the question. Don't say what you want to say. Answer me. Let's talk with each other. What makes you think that if me, my dad, and my brother want my mother, my sister, and my daughter to stay at home and to not go anywhere, and there's no consequences, no repercussions, no police, if all men decide these women go right back where they were, what makes you think that women actually can revolt? Like, what makes you think that women are capable of standing up to men if men decide, hey, there's no more rights for y'all? What makes you think that?
And I'll find it, but historically that has actually happened.
I think you made that up.
You're lying.
My point. That just kind of proves my point that men don't look at women as human fucking beings. Y'all just look at us as something to subject to your will. Because why would you think? Because why would a man even think?
I know all that free protection just to subjugate you. Oh my goodness.
You are not talking. You are not. Angry man, just give me just like 20 seconds and you got it. Hey, Jazz. If The Rock wants Danny DeVito to give him his lunch money, he will. If The Rock, if Michael B. Jordan. 1 second, please. If Michael B. Jordan decides to go to Jeff Bezos and there's no patriarchy structure, there's no cops, there's no judges, and he says, I want your shit, there's nothing Jeff Bezos can do. He has to run his money.
Nothing
it's over
at
for
all.
him. That's what men do. You were in school, you know the stronger man bullies the younger, the shorter man, the weaker man.
Usually you're simping, but today you're cooking.
So please answer my question, Jess, without talking about what you want to talk. You said this happened once in history. Before Ali and Angry Man go, my question is where? You can use Google, you can use ChatGPT, Gemini, Bing, Yahoo. Tell me one place in history where men said, woman, you have nothing, and women revolted by themselves, not with the help of other men, and they stopped they stopped the revolution. When was that?
When was that? I remember that.
Fatty, really quick. While she looks for that, can I say something? It's going to be pretty
She's
brief.
not going to look for it because it doesn't exist.
So, Jazz, I'm going to say I agree with Angry Man, and this is why. Because it's just reality. No one's saying that it's right, but the reality is that men are more dominant than women. The reality is, and even like when you think about why the patriarchy started, essentially it actually was to protect women. Like, even if, I don't know if everybody believes in the Bible, even if you go back to like the Bible days of like patriarchy, it was simply the man covering the woman and the kids and the children. And like, even if it was a family and say a husband died, the brother would then take on the responsibility of taking care of the wife and the kids because it was for protection. It was to cover them. It was never meant to be a sense of taking away autonomy or overpowering them or trying to control them. It was essentially actually protecting them from other people, from other men that did want to harm them. But I think that the issue is that a lot of women don't want to accept the fact that that's just reality, is that men are more dominant, and there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean that we're not capable of doing certain things. That doesn't mean that, we can't become certain things or do certain things in life. It's just one of those realities where it's like, okay, yeah, men are more dominant, and that's the world that we live in. And
yes, it is.
I think it's just one of those things we have to accept. It is what it is. No one's saying that, and like we weren't created equal. That's just the reality. Like
brother.
No. She made a statement, but the statement doesn't need to be responded. What needs to be answered is when in history of mankind, men decided to take woman shit, and women by themselves said, you know what? We are the woman king. We are the Amazons. We are going to fight back this shit, and we are going to win. When did this happen, please? I need to know.
Yeah, please.
We're not going to other places. Thank you very much, Lolo. It's not that it's not unimportant. It's that I want her to actually answer to that statement. Please. When did this happen?
Please answer to that absurd statement.
So let's see. I guess in the medieval to early modern period times, there was, I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, but
you can ChatGPT.
They were women who formed an independent and spiritual community outside of male-dominated church structures, refusing marriage and male authority. Witch hunts, while framed as persecution, some historians argue accusations of witchcraft reflected fears of women rebelling against male authority, especially widows, healers, or women.
I can't stand a dumb motherfucker, man.
Respectfully, Jazz, that is the dumbest thing I have ever heard in my life. Easily. In regards to a woman trying to explain the historical significance of women coming together and having any sort of success together. You brought up witch hunts. Are you absolutely out of your mind? Now I'm starting to question everything. Maybe even your intelligence, possibly your mental health judgment. What are you talking about? Let's get back into it.
Yes. You are talking about the history of the continent where I grew up. This is our history, kind of, right? Most witches were men. And the people that was doing witch hunts were men. The people that were enforcing people, putting people, burning them in the stake, prosecuting them.
Those weren't women with bloodhounds and rifles.
Revolutions, protecting women. 1 second, putting women in position of power were men. It would be a man that says, Jazzy is competent enough to be whatever community, so I'm going to put her there. Where is the woman? Where are the women?
So what I'm saying is this. I didn't say that there will be a rebellion and we're murdering you at the same rate that you can murder women. What I'm saying is if you suppress women long enough, you underestimate what they will use to rebel and fight for their own freedom and autonomy so much that you have to back off.
Nothing will happen.
You said what?
Nothing will happen because we repress you for 200,000 years. Well, no. Yes. There's a joke by
not making any sense
that says this. Woman and man been on this planet for 200,000 years,
over there.
And it's very convenient that woman only started to fight for equality when we invented the air conditioner, right?
Angry man
There's this joke like we've been this for 200,000 years, and exactly on the decade that man invented the air conditioner, and there's air conditioner jobs, and now it's comfortable to go in high heels to your work and all that. All of a sudden, women want to be independent. Please, Jess, like. Think about it. An angry man, you got it, and then angry man, you got it and interrupted.
Okay, so
there was never a time where a woman.
There are plenty of times that. Why do you think in modern history women had to fight against the patriarchy just to get
because other men allowed it?
Here's the thing: why are men using their?
She doesn't even understand the historical fact that. If men wouldn't have even given you a microphone, if we would have never allowed you to speak, it was men who decided that you would have rights. You did not fight for them. You did not take them.
It's to suppress women just because they're women.
No, because men are
be using your dominance to harm other people that are weaker to you, even when you're doing it to other men. Even when you're using your dominance.
She says using it to harm you. Let's remember what a patriarchy is. Basically something in place to keep women safe. That's what a patriarchy is. It's something to keep women safe. So
take something from something. Angry man. Damn, let me finish. For real.
I've been waiting 20 goddamn minutes to fucking respond.
Let her finish her point.
Angry man meter, and the angry man meter explodes.
Go ahead.
Yo, you the only baby on this bitch that don't even know history. You talking about witch hunts? You don't even know the history of that shit. You want to know why witch hunts existed? Because the mother back then didn't understand how to make bread. The bread got moldy, and it created this bread that was like LSD, so they was seeing shit. So they thought mother was witches and was burning people. It ain't had nothing to do with women rebelling, you fucking idiot. You don't even know what you're talking about. And you always want the damn mic and don't even know your own damn history of the fucking world. Human history. Goofy as fuck. Number one, first and foremost, men, humans, are always exploitive. Not just men. So you want to sit here and say, oh, the men, they do this, they do that. And what happened the moment that women were granted rights by men? What do y'all do? Exploit the fuck out of men. You don't do it physically. You do it mentally and emotionally. Because you know you can't do it physically. You can't beat men up. So what you do is you manipulate men, you gaslight men, you play all kinds of fucking games in order to try and dominate men and try to gain control over men. So guess what? That same nature is in you. If you was actually big enough to beat up men, you know what you would do? You would beat up men. If you were big enough to subjugate men, you know what you would do? You would subjugate men. Why? Because it's fucking human nature. Now, as far as the patriarchy, what the young lady said was right. The reason why the patriarchy is a good thing is because even though there are evil men in the world, yes, even though men can dominate women, many men don't. And that's what makes men great, is when they can take and they don't.
Women like Jazz don't even stop to realize that they're in a safer society because there are men there who wouldn't allow other men to violate women in any kind of way that they see fit. That society is even cleaner because there are men who are willing to deal with the plumbing and deal with the rigorous areas of sanitation in ways women would never think about doing. And we need these services in society, or now we live in a musty, nasty, stinky society that isn't clean, and anybody is up for grabs. Anybody's wife is up for grabs. Any woman's chastity is up for grabs. Any man's fortune is up for grabs. Without a patriarchy, not only are men in a worse position, but women are in a terrible position as well. Hope you guys got something out of the video. Hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every single time we post content just like this. See you on the next one.